Welcome back to the Encompass Investment Show, Purposeful Wealth Creation, the podcast where we explore how to create wealth that not only benefits you, but also makes a real difference in the world. We got some really interesting articles this week.
We did.
Everything from these community-led investment initiatives to discussions on, like how assets are evolving in the digital age.
Yeah.
And that's really where we're focusing our deep dive today. It's on this powerful and often overlooked aspect of investing, purposeful wealth creation.
Absolutely.
And how aligning our investments with our values not only builds real assets, but also positions us for this transition into the digital economy.
Such a fascinating intersection, isn't it?
It is.
This idea that we can be so intentional about the impact our wealth has,
Yeah.
while also being really strategic about navigating this kind of shifting economic landscape.
Yeah.
And your sources this week, they really highlight this tension
I do.
between kind of traditional notions of wealth and then these emerging opportunities that are coming out with digitalization.
Absolutely. One of the things that really jumped out at me from your materials was this challenge to the traditional definition of wealth. For so long, it's been all about the numbers in your account,
Right.
tangible assets.
Yeah.
But you had some articles in there that were pointing to a much broader view, didn't you?
I did. And it raises a really crucial question for you.
Yeah.
As you're thinking about, building your investment strategy,
Right.
which is, what does wealth actually mean to you?
Mhm.
Is it purely about monetary value,
Okay.
or does it encompass, the legacy that you want to create,
Yeah.
the positive changes you want to see out in the world? And I think your sources really touch on this idea that true wealth extends beyond just what you hold
Okay.
to the impact that you have.
I like that. So let's unpack this further.
Yeah.
This idea of purposeful wealth creation, it's more than just socially responsible investing, right?
Right.
What's at the core of it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is more than just socially responsible investing, because socially responsible investing is often focused on, avoiding harm.
Yeah.
So, excluding certain industries from your portfolio, for example.
Okay.
But purposeful wealth creation is much more proactive.
I see.
It's about intentionally aligning your investments with your personal values to actually go out and create positive change. So that could mean supporting businesses that have really strong ethical practices, investing in, renewable energy projects, or, as some of your sources discussed,
Yeah.
exploring how digital assets can contribute to community empowerment.
Okay.
So it moves beyond simply seeking profit
Okay.
to very consciously creating a lasting legacy.
I like that. It's interesting. One of the articles you sent over talked about these two hypothetical investors.
Yeah.
And one was laser focused on maximizing returns, almost in a vacuum.
Oh, yeah.
And the other was deliberately seeking out investments in sustainable businesses and local initiatives.
I love that example.
It really brought the distinction to life for me.
It does. It's such a helpful way to visualize the difference. Right. The first investor, they might just see a purely financial transaction,
Okay.
whereas the second investor sees an opportunity to create both financial and social returns. And I think that's the core equation that we're exploring here. Purposeful wealth creation is about investing with impact.
Investing with impact. So how can these kinds of investments actually impact communities? I mean, we talk about it in theory, but what does that look like on the ground?
Right.
Especially when we weave in this angle of, transitioning to a digital economy.
Well, that's where it gets really interesting,
Okay.
especially when you start to consider some of these innovative models
Yep.
that your sources highlight. So instead of just thinking about traditional top-down investment,
Okay.
we're seeing this rise in things like co-funding,
Co-funding.
where multiple investors, maybe even within a community, pool resources for projects that they believe in.
I see.
Now, this could be for a physical project like, developing affordable housing with green technologies, but it could also extend to funding, digital literacy programs within a community,
Okay.
or investing in blockchain-based platforms that really empower local economies.
So co-funding, it's a more collective approach
It is.
to making these impactful investments.
It is.
Can you give me a tangible example of how this might work in practice? Maybe tying it back to this digital transition that we've been talking about.
So imagine a group of individuals who are really passionate about supporting local artists.
Okay.
In a traditional model, they might just, donate to a few individuals.
Right.
But through a co-funding platform,
Yeah.
perhaps leveraging blockchain for transparency and shared ownership, they could collectively invest in building a digital marketplace
Okay.
where these artists can actually sell their work globally.
Yeah.
And then the impact is multifaceted, right?
Mm.
Because the artists gain access to a wider market.
Mm.
The investors potentially see a return as that marketplace grows. And the community benefits from this thriving creative economy that's really positioned for the digital age.
That's a fantastic illustration. It's not just about the physical anymore. It's about leveraging these new digital tools to create wealth and opportunity with purpose. So let's dive a bit deeper into this co-funding model.
Right.
What makes it such an effective way to create wealth with this added dimension of purpose, especially as we navigate this shift towards a more digital world?
Well, fundamentally, it democratizes access to larger scale projects.
Okay.
So individually, you might not have the capital or the network to invest in, say, a significant renewable energy initiative,
Right.
or to fund the development of a community-owned broadband network. But by pooling resources with like-minded individuals, you suddenly gain access to these opportunities.
Okay.
And furthermore, in the digital realm, co-funding platforms can really streamline investment processes, enhance transparency through technologies like blockchain, and connect investors directly with the projects they're supporting, which fosters a much greater sense of ownership and impact.
So it's about unlocking opportunities that were previously out of reach for many individual investors.
Exactly.
Got it. And the beauty is this dual goal.
Yeah.
Creating a return on investment while simultaneously generating a positive impact.
Yes.
I mean, think about investing in a co-funded project that develops open source educational software for underserved communities.
Right.
Not only could the investors potentially see a financial return as the software gains adoption or through related services, but they're also directly contributing to educational equity in the digital age.
Absolutely.
And you mentioned spreading risk earlier.
Yes.
Which I feel like is even more relevant in the often volatile digital landscape.
Diversification is key.
Yeah.
And co-funding allows you to participate in a portfolio of impactful projects,
Okay.
which spreads your risk.
Got it.
But moreover, the collective due diligence and expertise of a group of investors can be invaluable in navigating the complexities of both traditional and digital asset classes.
It sounds like it's about more than just the financial contribution.
It is.
It's about the shared values.
It is.
And the collective desire to kind of build something meaningful together.
It is.
In this evolving economic landscape.
Yeah, co-funding, especially when it's integrated with these digital tools, it really amplifies the potential for purposeful wealth creation.
Yeah.
It allows for more inclusive investment, greater transparency, and a much stronger connection between your financial decisions and the impact that you want to see in the world, both online and offline.
This is really shifting my perspective on what it means to build wealth in the 21st century. It's not just about accumulating.
It's not.
It's about aligning those assets with our values and leveraging the opportunities of the digital economy to create a more positive future.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the long-term impact
Yeah.
of this kind of purposeful wealth creation. What does that look like down the line, not just for individuals, but for communities as a whole?
I think the long-term implications are profound.
Yeah.
Because imagine a future where investment decisions are increasingly driven by a desire to create shared value.
Okay.
So instead of wealth being concentrated in just a few hands, purposeful investment facilitated by these digital platforms can actually empower entire communities.
Right.
So think about the long-term effects of investing in digital infrastructure in underserved areas.
Yeah.
It can unlock economic opportunities, it can improve access to education and healthcare, and foster much greater social inclusion.
It's about building a more resilient and equitable future.
It is.
Where the benefits of wealth creation are more widely distributed.
It is, and purpose-driven investment contributes to a stronger, more sustainable world for future generations.
Right.
So we're talking about fostering financial empowerment through access to digital tools, creating jobs in these emerging green and digital economies, and driving values-driven economic growth that prioritizes both people and the planet.
As we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
the key takeaway for me is that investing isn't just about growing our personal wealth.
It's not.
It's this powerful tool for shaping the future we want to live in.
Love that.
Purposeful wealth creation, especially as we navigate this digital transition,
Mm-hmm.
allows us to make choices that are deeply aligned with our values
It does.
and that benefit both ourselves and the wider world.
That's a perfect summary.
Yeah.
I think it's about recognizing that our financial decisions actually have consequences
Mhm.
and then consciously choosing to direct our resources towards creating positive outcomes,
Yeah,
both in the tangible world and the increasingly important digital sphere.
absolutely. So if you've been listening, and this idea of aligning your investments with your values and exploring opportunities in the digital economy resonates with you,
Hmm.
what's the next step you can take?
Well, I think the first step is really about reflection. So what are your core values?
Right?
What kind of impact do you want to have on the world?
Mm-hmm.
And then how can your investment strategy reflect those priorities in this evolving digital landscape?
And for those of you who want a bit more hands-on guidance in exploring how purposeful wealth creation
Yeah?
and navigating the digital economy can fit into your financial goals, we're here to help.
We are.
We encourage you to reach out and DM us for more details on how we work with individuals like you to align your investments with your values, build real assets, and strategically position yourselves in this transition. We can provide insights and resources
Absolutely.
to help you take that next step towards conscious investing.
It's about starting the conversation, asking those really important questions,
Yeah.
and exploring the possibilities that lie at the intersection of your financial aspirations and your desire to make a really meaningful contribution in this very dynamic world.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us on the Encompass Investment Show, Purposeful Wealth Creation. We hope this deep dive has given you some new perspectives on how you can invest, not just for profit, but for purpose in this digital age. Join us next time for another insightful discussion. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out. Remember, the wealth you create can be a powerful force for good. Subscribe to the Encompass Investment Show, Purposeful Wealth Creation, and start your journey towards investing with impact in the digital economy today.